Welcome back to PWTB. As you can see, I am back to a familiar place. I have not been here recording since December. So, like I said, I've moved back from Oklahoma City. Pretty exciting. And yeah, glad to be doing a show. We've got a couple topics today. I did one about some current weather events going on around me. That's a little bit rare. So, that's one topic on that, some MLB topics, and maybe a little bit more. And I got Jake here too. Jake, how we doing?
Glad to be back. I haven't been on the show the last couple of weeks. Been, kind of busy with work and everything, but working 60 hours per week. So it's definitely been some long weeks, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I think 3 weeks ago was the last time we did a show. I think it's actually been even a little bit more for Jake, so he's not lying when he says that. But yeah, I've been moving back, so I've been a little bit busy with that. Jake's been working 60 hours as he just told you, and Jordan just started the job that Jake's working. So we're all pretty busy, but when we can and when we've got something passionate enough, we are definitely going to come on here and talk about it. So yeah, glad to be here. So uh, topic we're doing right now, eight MLB teams just released their new City Connect uniforms, and if you don't know what those are, like they're the new alternate MLB uniforms that teams like to roll out every couple of years. I think it's pretty fun. They'll wear them on like the Sox. They'll wear theirs on Fridays or whatever, Friday home games, and you know, um, just fun new designs that to shake up the from the normal uniform. So eight teams released new ones. We're gonna rate each one out of 10. You can look them up, see what we're talking about. But without further ado, let's do Atlanta's first. They got like a light blue. That's the only thing I don't get. I think Atlanta's looks super clean, but like, what does light blue have to do with Atlanta? That's what I don't get. So I'm gonna give that one a shot. I'm gonna give it. I don't know if we're doing point five, so I'm gonna give that one a 7 out of 10. I think it pops. I think it looks nice, but what does the light blue have to do with the Braves? That's what I don't get. Yeah.
You know, Power Blue, Power Blue is going back to the Hank Aaron days. And it's basically honoring Hank Aaron. So I like Power Blues on these jerseys. I think Um, I'm gonna give them a solid 8 point. I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. I like them.
Okay, so that's fair. That's throwing it way back. I mean, that's throwing it back to like what the 50s and 60s, but that is pretty cool. So I'll leave it at a 7 though. It's pretty decent. But next one we'll do the Orioles. It says "Be More" on the front of the jersey. It's got like almost like a tannish color, mostly a little bit of orange, a little bit of black. I think it looks pretty clean. Not super fancy, but I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. Pretty solid jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like this one, especially with you got the black sleeves and you got the white, you know, you got the white as the main color. You got an Oreo on top of the B more. I just kind of like that nickname as well. And the numbers, how the font is kind of like, I really like that as well. Again, I really like the jersey, so I think I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
All right, Jake's been pretty favorable so far. Next up, and I'm going to be a little critical on this one. It's not bad, and maybe I'm missing the back, but next up we got the Reds one. I think that I will give credit to this. I like that, you know how Cincinnati has the C as their logo usually. I like the C on this one. I think it looks pretty clean, but other than that, it just seems like a red jersey. It seems sort of boring, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. What do you think about the Reds?
And as you can see, I kind of
Oh,
got
Jake has
the
it.
legs
Yeah,
hat on.
Jake has it. I was
Um,
thinking that was Cleveland or something, but no, that's for that. Yeah.
no, this is the 2025 City Connect hat. I don't know if they're coming out with a new hat or just a new jersey, but I also got the 2025 City Connect jersey as well. My dad and I went to a game up in Cincinnati last August, I want to say it was, and we grabbed a couple of City Connects. Um, so I really like the C. I really like the jersey, how the C is on the one side and then you got the number on the back side. On the other side, I really like it. I'm gonna give it a 8.3 out of 10.
8.3.
I like it.
Or
I like
B.
most of these jerseys.
Yeah, no, most of these are pretty solid. I'm being a little bit tough, but most of these are pretty solid. Next, we got the Royals. Another very solid one. The design is awesome. I will say I do like the design, the R, the crown, and all that. there's a lot of different ways you can go with the Royals. I feel like with their logo, you could do a lot of different things, and I think they did well. I just don't love the color choice though. It's like, the purple and the all that. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, but really cool design on the Royals one. What do you think, Jake?
I really think a solid guy. I really like the design, Evan. Like you say, I agree with it. I like that the number is kind of slanted on that side. So I like this jersey. I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. Another eight, another solid one.
Jake staying in that 8 to 9 range. All right. Next up, we got the Brewers jersey, and this one was getting roasted a little bit more than any of the ones I've seen, mainly because of the Wisco. Like nobody, like an acronym for Wisconsin. Like people are like nobody says that, nobody says that. But I think like it doesn't have to be that. I think it sort of looks cool. The colors seem decent. People were hating on this one. Like again, it's not the greatest one ever, but I like the design. I don't mind the Wisco thing. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Evan, and we're getting to the Pirates one next, and the Pirates one I think is a really solid one, but I think this one might be one of the, you know, I think this one might be the cleanest on the list. I just like the Wisconsin, I like the Wisco on it, I like the blue, I like the numbers, I like everything about it. So I think that this one's gonna be my highest ranking. I'm gonna give it a 9.4 out of 10.
9.4 out of 10. So far, my highest ranking is the Orioles and Brewers one. That's going to change right here. I think this Pirates one, looking at it, clean, absolutely clean. Perfect amount of color, not doing too much. The letters are perfect. I like the little drip on the P, and just the yellow and black just go great together. I'm good. I'll stop short of a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's a very nice one.
Yeah, I was just talking about the Western one. Pirates one, very clean, very great design on it. I think costumes gonna look amazing in it. Um, but I can't go higher than the Wisconsin. I can't go higher than the Brewers one. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna stay in the nines. I'm gonna give this a 9.3 out of 10.
Not bad. Next one is the Padres one, which you can't really because I think they have something on the back on this one. It's San Diego. It's got like a lot of different colors going on, mainly maroon, but then or not maroon, excuse me, mainly like a navy blue. But then it's got like a lot going on in the back. It's got like a Day of the Dead design, like because they're the Padres and stuff like that. Very cool design. The colors are it's just a little much for me, but I understand why they're doing it. Very cool design, very cool jersey. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, very cool jersey, Evan. I agree with you on that. The color scheme, navy blue, white. I like that one. Navy. You said God gave us the Day of the Dead design on the back. I think that would be pretty interesting to look at. It's not going to be as high as the other jerseys on this list, but I'm going to still give it a solid 8.1 out of 10.
All right, and then the last one is going to be the Rangers jersey, which we were talking a little bit before the topic about this one that Jake might have not have been a huge fan, so we'll see what he says about that. Yeah, it's just very basic. Like this one probably seems like a throwback to, or maybe a throwback to, because it's saying Tejas, like maybe to Mexican heritage or whatnot. But so I'm not roasting that, but just the jersey looks super boring, man. I'll give it a 5. I'll be nice. I think that's being generous too. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Because it's not terrible, but it's just like whatever. But what do you think on that one?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, used to call Texas Tejas when they were talking, about, the Texas Rangers, especially the old Texas Rangers. And I think that they just kind of wanted to do a design exactly like that. But I agree with you, Evan. I don't think this jersey's all that. I think this jersey's the worst one out of the list. But I'm still gonna be nice on it. I'm gonna give it a 6.3 out of 10, which is my lowest rating for any jersey on this list. So